officially in Grinch season, holiday season. Um, you know, especially this year, gotta enjoy it. So I'm gonna be sipping my tea, and here we go. So I'm Mr. Hanson at Mr. Hanson Form 4, and today I got word problems for you guys. It's I know, right? Um, we're gonna be looking at situations and converting them into equations and then solving them to answer the problem. I know that this is a tough subject for some of us, but after we're done with this, I hope that you have a plan and you'll feel a little more confident because really, word problems are just real life problems that are a little cleaner. So you really need to know how to do this for the mess that comes into your life. So let's get started. All right, so here you go, guys. You're gonna want to get these notes down, so you might want to go ahead and get get something to write with. Take pause this video, but basically, this is a process. Everyone has their own processes. I'm not here to tell you that this is the best one that exists, but it's a good one. It works. I trust this in any situation. What do you know? What happened? What's going on? What's the information that's available to you? What don't you know? What do we got to find out? When you have an unknown in math, you have a variable to find that variable. I like to try to write it out in words. Sometimes going straight from a problem or a word problem to an equation can be tough, so it's kind of like the translation. Write it out algebraically in an equation, solve, and then make sure your answer makes sense in the context of your problem. If we're looking for the number of ducks and you tell me that you have 17 trucks, try again. Better luck. Bars. Here we go. So, some of these problems are stale, not going to lie, but we're going to do them. First thing, what is given to you? What are the givens? Well, we know that there's 331 students total. That's students that are going on this field trip. We know that there's 6 buses that are full. I mean, there's levels, right? I don't know if you guys have been on some of them buses where they pack y'all in like sardines. And 7 students traveled in cars. 7 students in cars. That's information that's free. It's there. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to find it. It's there. That's what's given to you. What's the unknown? What don't we know? Cue up some Elsa Frozen music. Into the unknown. Ooh. Remind me not to do that again. So, unknown. Well, they wrote it out. Sometimes it's not this easy, but it's how many students were on each bus. So far, hopefully you're feeling alright. You're with me. So then we go from there and we get our variable. We have to define it. You can't just throw letters into equations. You've got to know I got to know what you mean by it. So if we're looking for how many students were in each bus, we could put S, right? It could be S is the number of students in each bus. And, you'll probably do this a few times and be like, man, this is too much work. I don't got to write all this down. I know this. And go, make that call when you're ready. But in the meantime, follow the process. And then verbal. So I like to write it out plain English. So I know that I got 331 students total. Okay? I know from my experience that total usually goes by itself. So that's probably equal to, we got 6 whole buses and 7 more kids, because those are the ones that came in the cars. I'm feeling good. Hopefully you're feeling good. Now, let's write the equation. Every equation has a left side, a right side, equal sign. Remember, it doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right. But I like to set it up, and I usually like to put my total on the right. That's just my personal preference. You do you, though. I know that there's 331 kids total. Boom. I also know that there's 6 buses with students on them, but we don't know how many students are on the bus. My middle child right now is obsessed with Coco Melon Wheels on the Bus. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but yes, send your best wishes. So 6 buses with some number of students we don't know, and 7 more students, and is an addition So there you go. This is how all the kids went on the field trip. It's that simple. So this video, we're focusing on, writing the equation. Obviously, this is a two-step equation. You can solve it pretty simply. I'll talk you through it. You subtract 7 on both sides using the subtraction property of equality. We get 324. We divide by 6 on both sides. And the number of students is going to be 54. Now, don't leave it like this, please. Whenever you're presented with a word problem, answer it with words. So you would write, there's 54 students on each bus. Now, does that make sense? Well, 6 times 54 is 24. You add 7, that's 331. So the math checks out. Does it make sense in context? Yeah, we're talking, we didn't know how many students are on each bus. Now we know how many students are on each bus. If you got some random number like kids in a car, or you're talking about money or something, then you got lost. So make sure that your math lines up with the actual problem. I'm not going to do all these problems. I want to keep this video kind of short. Let's do this one. Imani spent half of her weekly allowance. How many of you get weekly allowance? Comment down below if you want to share how much you get. I did not get weekly allowance as a kid. My daughter currently doesn't. She usually gets money when she needs it, but she usually gotta earn it. To earn more money, she washed the car for $4. I'll take that all day. What is her weekly allowance if she ended with $12? So again, let's follow our process. What's given? We know that she spent half golfing. That's important, right? Man, this video feels laggy, so I don't know if my computer's slow, but if I'm a little laggy today, I'm sorry. The Grinch is stealing my Wi-Fi. Made $4. Car wash ends with $12. So to start, she had to have some number more than 12, right? Potentially, because she spent half. That's just me being smart and knowing what I'm doing. Unknowns. What don't we know? We don't know her weekly allowance. Again, let me know if you get an allowance. I'm gonna pause real quick because this is driving me nuts. All right, I closed some stuff. Hopefully that makes this a little smoother. Also, if you haven't been here before, my handwriting sucks. It is what it is. So what's the variable gonna be? I like W for this one. W equals weekly, amount of money for weekly allowance. You want to be detailed too. Like, I didn't write the word weekly, but you should keep that there. Verbal. Try to make sense of it in words. It's, sometimes, like, for me, it's kind of hard for me to even do this because my brain is, like, good at putting the pattern and jumping straight to the equation, but maybe you're not there yet. So 1/2 of allowance spent and made $4, and that's gonna equal, right, because we're ending with 12. That's the total. So then if I turn this into an equation, the hardest part is, how do you write 1/2 of something? There's a few ways, right? You could do 1/2 times, or 0.5 times, or you could do something divided by 2. They mean the same thing, and that's where I'm gonna go for the equation on this one. Is W over 2 plus 4. So you spent half of your allowance golfing, and then you made $4 more, and then at the end of the week you had $12. Bada boom. Now solve it. Add 4, or subtract 4 on both sides. That gets you 8 times 2 on both sides. Again, I'm being a little fancy here. But you get W equals 16, so her weekly allowance is $16. That's solid. That's like $64 a month, approximately, $800 plus a year. I can do some stuff with that. Make some money. Alright, is there anything else worth doing? Bum-ba-dum, dum-ba-dum. Love the Grinch. If you listen to his words, he be preaching the truth. So, the Grinch is out to steal everyone's gifts. Oh no! He's already been preying on Whoville for an hour, and he's cleared out 6 homes. I don't know how many people live in Whoville, but we'll see. In his bag, that should be a comma, are 42 presents. Regalos. The Grinch has 5 hours left to work ahead of him. How many presents will he end up taking back to his cave? Well, first of all, The Grinch is amazing. The original. I don't really like the cartoon. Jim Carrey did an amazing job. Like, boom, we have the Grinch Monopoly here. I got a Grinch waffle maker that I found from the OG. We got the Grinch movie on PlayStation 1. We're Grinch fans in this house. Which I wasn't always, but the more you listen to him, I'm telling you, he is the truth. So, first things first, right? Let's follow our process. I don't know what's up with that glitchiness. Oh, you can't even see it because my face. Given. What's given? What do we know? Well, we know that it's been working for 1 hour. 6 homes emptied. We know that there's 42 presents in the bag. Put the money in the bag. We also know that he has 5 hours left. You with me? Okay. What don't we know? Well, man, I'm telling you, this video is super glitchy. I am so sorry. It's like every time I look, I can feel it glitching. We don't know how many presents he's taking back, right? So, purposely made this one a little more challenging, right? Because we got to be careful and make sure that our variable makes sense. And the variable isn't the number of presents he's taking back, because that's just not gonna make sense for this. So what could it be? Well, let's take a look. I'm wondering the relationship here. There's an hour and 6 homes. So I'm gonna highlight that. 1 hour, 6 homes. That's the ratio. In his bag, there's 42 presents. So that's another ratio, right? So 1 hour, 6 homes, 42 presents. He has 5 hours left to work ahead of him. So we have to make some assumptions here, and that's part of what being a mathematician is taking your information, and you have to make an assumption. Now, you have to prove it and back it up, but sometimes you have to go out on a limb. So what I'm seeing is that it takes me 1 hour to do 6 homes, or 10 minutes per house. 10 minutes per house. I'm also seeing that there's 42 presents out of 6 homes. So if we assume that each one is set up the same, it's going to be relatively simple for us to see that there's 7 presents per house. So we're going to have 7 gifts per house. 7 who's? 7 who's. So now the question is, okay, how can I answer this question best? So the question is, if there's 5 hours left, how many presents will he end up taking back to his cave? Well, I think I can chop this up a couple different ways. I really just got to think about how I want to structure this. So if I say, okay, my variable, it could be number of gifts per house. It could also be, no, that's what I want. That's what I want, because we're looking at gifts. So the variable is going to be number of gifts per house, and I'm going to say that's G, and I'm just going to jump straight to the equation on this one. So I know my total. I don't know my total, but I do know that I currently have 42 presents. All right, and I know that I'm going to be working for 5 more hours, which now I got to do some math. So how many houses is that? Well, there's 5 hours. I do 6 homes per hour, so that would be 30 more houses. So if I do pause this quick so I don't mess up. Welp, guys, I don't think that this is a problem that needs an equation, and I could be wrong. Maybe it's a long day and this hat's been on my head all day, but I think this is just an expression, because there's nothing that there's a total. Like if I would have been like, oh, how many presents were, yeah, I set this up wrong, because this is not an unknown, right? Like I know it's 7, so I can just plug it in. I would have had to write this problem as oh, the Grinch brought back The Grinch brought back 150 presents. How many presents were at each house? And then I could have had, 30G plus 150, or plus 42 equals 150. Solve for G. That would have told me the number of guess per house. So I gave too much information away. So really, this is the deal. So to finish the problem, so I'll do it via substitution, and it's gonna be 252 gifts. So that's the Grinch's night. So I messed up. I owe you guys a better equation problem. This was not an equation problem. It was an expression problem, and I'm sorry. But like I said, guys, hot, long day. We're in December though. Enjoy it, man. The weather's good. The weather's great. Thanks for rocking with the channel like always, and I'll see you guys next time. Mr. Answer 414. Be nice. Say the Grinch will come.